Hello, I'm Robert J. Sawyer, and this is Supernatural Investigator. This week we ask the question, does reincarnation exist? The idea that our earthly existence doesn't end with the death of our current body is a common belief in many Eastern cultures. But with no concrete proof, many feel that reports of past lives are nothing more than false memories, fantasies, or delusions. Our supernatural investigator is Gezar Mukpo, who some recognize as the reincarnation of an important Tibetan guru. He takes us on a journey to investigate two possible reincarnations in the Western world. Will these stories turn hard skeptics into believers? We put reincarnation to the test on this week's Supernatural Investigator.
If reincarnation is real, it could completely redefine the way that we see our society.
Opinion polls in both the USA and in the UK show that a surprising 25% of the population actually claim to believe in reincarnation.
You know, talk about being a black man in the Civil War, you know, and then go to 5th grade and show your face.
Being Marilyn, I let someone else have it. I'd gladly hand over the baton.
If reincarnation is real, then it is real. You can find the evidence of those previous lifetimes in this lifetime.
In the early 1970s, Tibetan Buddhism had gained a lot of popularity in the West. At that time, Tibetan teachers started coming over to North America. One of these teachers, Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche, a Tibetan master, on a trip to Berkeley, California, saw me, and shortly after informed my parents that he believed I was the reincarnation of this Tibetan Lama, Sechen Kongtrul Rinpoche. Rinpoche was a great Buddhist meditation master, and it was within a week that I had this enthronement ceremony. I was 3 years old. And at some point they wanted to take me to the monastery and have me train there and do all of that, but basically my mother and father didn't really want to send me away. So I ended up having a pretty normal Western upbringing. And when I was around 15, I started to investigate my Eastern roots a little more and started to spend time in India and Nepal. And for the rest of my life, I've, been told that I'm this person by someone or another. I'm on a journey to look at some fascinating cases of reincarnation in the West, to determine whether proof of reincarnation exists. I started with Toronto musician Sherrie Laird, the lead singer of the band Pandemonia. Sherrie Lee's vocals are reminiscent of hardcore rockers like Annie Lennox, but Sherrie believes she is the reincarnation of screen icon Marilyn Monroe. For Sherrie, being Marilyn has been far from glamorous. She's experienced disturbing flashbacks and nightmares since childhood.
I sat on my aunt's knee. I was about 12, and she pointed to the beauty mark above my lip, and she said, "Oh, that means you're extra beautiful," or something like that. And I'm like, "Oh, that's I don't want that, right?" I didn't like it. And so she started singing about the Marilyn song, "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend." Somehow, when she sang that, I sort of became almost embarrassed, like she knew something, like she knew what I was hiding. It was just a very strange feeling, and I described it to my doctor like a chamber, like it was just like wow, wow, like it echoed. I could hear it, and I was like, oh my God, that's my song.
One of the most famous stars in Hollywood history is dead at 36. She seemed to have such a zest for life.
I guess there's fleeting moments where I'm like, I look at Marilyn, I'm like, well, she was very attractive and she was beautiful, but that's so fleeting because I know the demons that came with being Marilyn, and so I don't get to see her as a piece of art. I always experienced the Marilyn that had issues, and always the frights that came with being her. It was never like, oh, look at me, there's flashbulbs going and I'm with the president. It was always like, I can't breathe, I'm choking. It was such a burden, and I just wanted it to go away.
Turns out the ghost of Marilyn Monroe wouldn't be that easy to shake.